The most expensive repair on this machine costs $20,000. The one that fixes it most often costs nothing. Most shops start at the expensive end. We're going the other way. 8 steps, cheapest first. Step 1 is air in the fuel. A man services his own filter, puts it back, and the machine won't start. He went through 3 batteries trying to bleed it. Loosen the bleed plug. Work the hand primer until the fuel runs with no bubbles. 15 minutes, hand tools. That's a $300 service call you didn't make. Step 8 is the $20,000 one. We'll get there. Bleeding the fuel costs nothing. Step 2 costs about the same, if you know where to look. The air cleaner sits behind the side door, in its own frame beside the hydraulic valves. 2 clamps, no tools. Most operators have never opened it. Nobody teaches this. A dirty filter traps finer dust than a clean one. The packed dirt closes the pores. It filters better and better, right up until it isn't passing enough air to run. Don't judge it by eye. Judge it by the restriction indicator. Now pop those 2 clamps. What's inside decides whether you ever pay for Step 8. 2 clamps off, and this is what comes out. Now watch what half the yard does next. Air gun, and a filter that looks brand new when it's done. It isn't. Compressed air punches holes through the media you can't see with your eyes. You still have a filter. It just stopped filtering. Washing doesn't save it either. Twice, and it holds under 40% of a new one. 3 times, and almost none pass inspection. The filter is cheap. The dust it lets through lands in the rings. Next step, the other filter, the one with fuel in it. You can argue about cleaning an air filter. Not this one. You replace it. That's the whole procedure. Look at what fills it. That isn't road dirt. It's rust off the inside of your own tank, and water sitting in there since winter. One man cleaned his. It packed solid again in an hour of running. The filter was never the problem. And diesel is what lubricates the injection pump. Starve the filter, you starve the pump. That's a part measured in thousands, killed by one measured in tens. Swapping it out takes 10 minutes. One piece of rubber decides whether it starts afterward. That piece of rubber is the old seal. When the can comes off, it usually stays stuck to the head. Spin the new one on over it, and you're running 2 gaskets. It draws air, it never seals, and nothing looks wrong. Check the base every time. Fill the new one with clean fuel first. Hand tight only. A wrench distorts the seal. Prime before you crank. Cranking to bleed turns 10 minutes into a full day. Step 4 isn't a filter. It's a part the size of your thumb, and it can stop this engine cold. 2 wires and a thread. It is not a gauge. That sensor is the only reason the computer knows it's cold outside. Let it read warm, and you get a summer start on a winter morning. Not enough fuel, and the warm-up cycle never runs. One man ran his for months unplugged. Hard start every morning, rough idle all day. New sensor, both gone. Below 20 Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit, this machine is supposed to preheat for up to 30 seconds. $100 to $400 installed. Deep socket, and the plug has a latch. That preheat is step 5. Here's the whole circuit. Battery, relay, heater, ground. 4 parts. That's exactly why people test it wrong. The relay clicks. The meter shows voltage. Neither one proves anything. Burnt contacts will pass volts and block current all day. And this is not a small circuit. Up to 200 amps through one bolted joint the size of your little finger. If the relay sticks closed, the heater stays on with no air moving over it and overheats. Paper won't tell you which one you've got. You have to go look at the real one. Here it is, a grid sitting between the intake pipe and the manifold. Here's the test that settles it. Turn the key to heat and read the heater terminal to ground, 20 to 30 volts. If the volts are there and that grid stays cold, the heater is dead. Stop guessing at the relay. Now look at the stud carrying that current. It passes straight into the intake. Loose, it runs hot. Men have had the nut melt off, go through a valve, and land in a piston. That quote comes back at $25,000. Step 6 costs money 6 times over. New injectors still won't fire, so we stop blaming fuel. Under this cover is the only repair on the list that costs a gasket. Skip it, and you're buying a top end. Thousands. Nobody says this out loud. Loose valves rattle. Tight valves are silent. The silent ones burn. To measure them, the engine has to sit in one exact place. That place is set from here. Pull the plug above the starting motor and drop this gear in. It runs on the starter's own teeth. Half the trade skips it and bumps the starter. A starter cannot stop on a mark. You go around again. The tool is $20. One man turned his by the wrong bolt and snapped a camshaft. Now you need a mark to stop on. There it is, a line on the pulley, a fixed point on the block. Line them up and the engine sits where the book wants it. Here's the catch. That line comes around twice a cycle and looks identical both times. Only one of them is right. Guess wrong, and you spend an hour adjusting 6 valves that were already correct. So how do you know which 6? 6 of them. Not the 6 you'd pick. Number 4 gets both. Number 3 gets nothing. The rest are scattered. One intake here, one exhaust there. No pattern to guess at. Adjust the wrong one, and you're measuring a valve that's already lifting. The number you write down is fiction. Do these 6. One full turn of the crank brings up the other 6. Now you need something to measure with. A feeler gauge. That's it. Slide it in. Turn the screw until the blade drags lightly. 24 Newton meters on the lock nut. Then check it again. Tightening moves it. Zero clearance means the valve never fully closes. No closing, no compression. No compression, no fire. 1 dead cylinder, 5 still working, and the machine turns over all day without starting. If it keeps going tight, the screw isn't the problem. It isn't the screw. The seat is wearing, the valve is sinking into the head. No adjustment fixes that. So the rockers come off. 6 assemblies, 12 bolts. Mark every one before it moves. The 2 holes in a crosshead are different, and they wear into each other. Open a used engine and half point one way, half the other. Nobody marked them. Under the rockers, the push rods. Under the rockers, the push rods. Pull them and roll them on glass. A push rod doesn't bend because it's weak. It bends because something above it stopped moving. One man drove 15 miles with a dead cylinder. Then the whole rocker housing lifts off. Then the head. 26 bolts, 75 kilos, 165 pounds. That's a crane job, not a back. Lift it clear and you can see on the gasket where the pressure was going. Under that, 6 piston crowns, and any mark on them was left by something that didn't belong there. That's step 8. And step 8 is the bill we promised you. That's the bill we promised. Before you sign it, one test. You never needed the head off to measure compression. Pull one injector. Exhaust side rocker only. The intake side stays. Fuel tube off. Inlet connector out. Then the puller. 6 cylinders, 6 readings, one at a time. Every shop that skips this is guessing. Guessing at this level costs 5 figures. The hole you just opened is where the answer goes. Adapter into the injector hole. Gauge on. Warm the oil first, or the number means nothing. A healthy diesel makes 350 to 450 psi. Under 300, something is leaking. Here's the test that decides it. Squirt a little oil into the weak cylinder and read it again. If the pressure climbs, the rings and liners are gone. That's number 8. 4 to 7,500 in parts. Labor doubles it. If it doesn't move, it's the valves. Already done. 8 steps. Most machines never get past 2. I hope yours is one of them. If this saved you a guess, drop a comment with what I should pull apart next. That's what keeps these coming. Like, share, subscribe.